You're listening to The Manning Report with your host, James David Manning. The news behind the headlines.
Segment of covering today, the Manning Report, is bye-bye Joe Biden. And, you know, his candidacy for presidency is all but shot. Well, it's shot. It just didn't fall over and die yet. I never had a lot of faith in Joe Biden in terms of his ability to take on Tribulation Trump. I just never had the faith that he had the wit, he had the stamina, that he had the intellect, and that he had the commitment to take on somebody as vile as Tribulation Trump. I just never saw Joe Biden doing that. And he has demonstrated in his campaign that he doesn't have the ability to do that. Joe Biden, whose campaign is really shot at this point, he's been propped up by African Americans, by Negroes, colored people, who think that Joe Biden is the second coming of Obama. They think if they can put Joe Biden, who was Obama, the long-legged Mac Daddy's vice president, that somehow or another the world is going to be like it was with Obama. But that is not the case at all. But that's what the Negroes, the African Americans, are thinking, and that's where Joe Biden is getting all of his support from. But it's all a farce. And, you know, the Negroes still want to suck up and they want to worship and they want to praise Obama. But you know, I find ironically that they didn't do that with Jezebel Hillary Clinton. They didn't really suck up to her the way they're sucking up to Joe Biden. Maybe Tribulation Trump has driven them into that point. But the other thing about Joe Biden is that Joe Biden, well, he's not guilty of extortion the way Trump is with what he has done with Zelensky over there in Ukraine and asking Zelensky to dig up dirt on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. But Joe Biden is guilty of greedy nepotism. The boy is guilty. And his son, Hunter Biden, was allowed to sit on the board of directors of a Ukrainian energy firm, allegedly suggested by, you know, the idiot down there, Rick Perry down there in Texas. Because he was Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, was able to get put on that board of the Ukrainian energy company with a salary of $50,000 a month. My God, many of y'all don't make that much money in 1 year. That boy was getting that, and it was a no-show job, by the way. All he had to do was just put his name down, and he got a check for $50,000 every month. And he got it simply because he was Joe Biden's son. And he got that appointment when Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama, was president and Joe Biden was vice president. So the nepotism, or, you know, the passing of favors to get a name like Joe Biden on the board gave that Ukrainian oil energy company a lot of yeast, gave them a lot of power, and so it was. But Joe Biden is guilty of using a similar kind of scheme that Trump himself has used. And people ought to just come out and say it. I mean, Jake Tapper and Wolf Blitzer and, you know, Chris Matthews and Rachel Maddow, they all come out and say it, that Joe Biden is as guilty as Trump is with his nepotism with Don Jr. and that little girl Eric and that other little long-necked girl Ivanka. And they ought to come out and say it. And so now it's all coming out. And that ain't all that's going to come out about Joe Biden. And, you know, all these politicians, they're crooked in the Mississippi River. And we all know that. All these politicians, they all got something to hide. Everybody's got something to hide, except for me and my monkey. No, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. So they ought to come out and say, listen, Biden, you know, get off the stage. Now, go ahead, get off the stage. That's the first thing. The second thing is that these Negroes who's given Biden his strong lead in the poll, but not anymore. These Negroes are giving he's got like 90% of the Negro vote, which has had him way up in the front of the head of the polls for quite some time since he jumped in the race. I think he's the second coming of Obama. And I'm going to be doing a segment on Obama tomorrow, where on Wednesday I'll be doing a segment on Obama, that Obama attacked Moses, he attacked Jesus, he attacked the Bible, and he got away with it. You got to, it's tomorrow on the Manning Report at 10 o'clock. You got to be here for that, where I point out how Obama attacked the Bible, Moses, and Jesus after being in the church with Jeremiah Wright for 20 years. But these Negroes are giving Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't have the ability to stand up to Tribulation Trump. He doesn't. He's full of gaffes, and he's really not that well spoken. Anyway, I want to pull up the video where Biden was sitting there when he was vice president, talking about how he wasn't going to give that money to the Ukrainians unless they fired the prosecutor. Mr. Engineer, pull up, I think it's clip number 6. Joe Biden. Pull that up, if you will, please.
I remember going over convincing our team, or others too, convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
At any rate, Biden is finished, all right? He's toast. I think thing number 3, thing number 1, thing number 2, thing number 3 is that now Elizabeth Warren is moving ahead of Joe Biden in the polls. I think that at one point he was, and even in Iowa now, which is going to be the first of the test of the caucuses and the polls, Elizabeth Warren has pulled ahead of him. Elizabeth Warren, she's this Harvard professor. She grew up, pretty much as a regular person, didn't have a silver spoon in her mouth, if you will. But she's gaining a lot of traction because she's got a plan for everything. And she is a great teacher. She explains things very well. Biden doesn't have any policy. All Biden got is he's got the Negroes and the second coming of Obama. That's all Biden. Biden ain't got nothing. And he don't even know how to play that. I mean, Biden got all the Negroes behind him, but he don't even know how to duck back in the alley. But Elizabeth Warren, she knows how to talk. And now she's moved ahead of, she'd raised, $25 million in the last fundraising quarter. And what's that? Bernie Sanders raised $25 million too. So it appears to me that Elizabeth Warren is pulling ahead of Biden and maybe some of the people like Al Sharpton, Mr. CI7, Al Sharpton. If they start slamming Biden, which potentially they will do, but I'm surprised that Kamala Harris hasn't gotten more of the Negroes. But Kamala Harris ain't black either. And Cory Booker, he's just too ugly. If Cory Booker was so ugly, he probably could, he probably get some track. He said, boy's ugly. He looks like he's cross-eyed, He got a funny looking mouth. He talks funny. He's from over there in Newark. It looked like somebody beat him up over there in Newark in one of them gangs over there, and he never recovered. His one eye is missing. Anyway. But I have to tell you that Biden, so we're going to say bye-bye to Joe Biden. Now, the thing I think that we need to be careful about here is that if Joe Biden, who is just as guilty in many ways, Trump did extort. Trump tried to use extortion, strong-arming Zelensky to get him to open up an investigation on Joe Biden. We know that. Everybody knows that, and he ought to go to jail for the rest of his life, Tribulation Trump, with his lying self. But you know what Biden did ain't clean either. Biden's hands aren't clean. You know what he did, trying to get that prosecutor over there in Ukraine fired. You know, you ought to stand up and admit it and say, well, you know, all right, okay. What they're trying to do is try to say, well, they found no wrongdoing. Well, what's wrongdoing? $50,000 a year. Somebody give me $50,000 a month. You know, somebody give me $50,000 a month. Yeah, and your son can get that kind of money. How much money was Biden getting himself? This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.